Today is my twins' birthday. Two of them arrived together the way certain gifts arrive, double day way the universe sometimes decides one is not enough, decides to give you both simultaneously to place in your arms, too small, complete entirely themselves, people who share an origin, who came from the same beginning and arrived in the same moment, into the same light, the same air, the same waiting, hands that did not know they would be holding two, that had only imagined one and then discovered that the imagination had been too small, too limited, too unable to anticipate what was actually coming, what was actually being given. Two of them on the same day, in the same hour, and everything changed twice simultaneously. I want to talk about birthdays, first about what they actually are, what they mean beneath the celebration, beneath the cake and the candles and the singing that we do every year to mark the same moment returning. A birthday is the anniversary of an arrival, the anniversary of the specific moment when someone who did not exist in the world outside, a body suddenly did, suddenly was here, was breathing, was making sound, was present in the air, in the light, in the specific room where they arrived and changed everything. In it, changed everyone. In it, permanently, irreversibly, in the way that new people change things when they arrive, the way a room rearranges itself around a new presence, the way understanding rearranges itself around new love, around the specific love that a child produces in a parent that has no equivalent, has no comparison point, has no preparation possible, just arrives. With the child arrives as suddenly as the child does, and is equally permanent, equally irreversible, equally the thing that once known cannot be unknown, once felt cannot be unfelt. A birthday is the anniversary of that, the anniversary of the moment love of this specific kind became available to me, became part of what I know, what I carry, what defines me more completely than almost anything else. And my twins' birthday is that anniversary doubled is the anniversary of two arrivals, two first breaths, two first sounds, two separate entirely, themselves complete. People choosing to enter the world on the same day, and I have been thinking about that today, about the specific miracle of twins, which is not one thing but two things simultaneously, which is the doubling of everything, the love and the fear and the joy and the weight and the specific privilege of watching not one person become who they are, but two people doing it in parallel, doing it differently, doing it in the specific ways that are entirely their own, that belong to no one else, that emerged not from the shared origin, not from the fact of beginning together, but from whatever is essential in each of them separately, whatever makes them themselves, rather than simply a pair, rather than simply two of a thing. They are two specific, unrepeatable people who happened to arrive together, and I want to honor both of those things today, the togetherness and the separateness, the shared beginning and the individual becoming, the fact of them as a pair, and the fact of each of them as a person, complete and entire and worthy of being seen clearly in their own right, not only in relation to the other. I remember the day they arrived. I want to be honest about what that day was, what it actually was in the experienced reality of it, not the cleaned up version, not the memory that has been softened by time, by distance, by the way we tell stories about significant things after enough time has passed, that the rougher edges become smoother, that the fear becomes just part of the narrative rather than the full felt thing it was when it was happening. I want to be honest about the fear which was real, which was present alongside everything else, alongside the joy, alongside the wonder, alongside the specific feeling of being in the presence of something that exceeds your existing vocabulary for experience. The fear was there, the awareness of how much was at stake, of how much I had been given and how much there was therefore to lose, of how completely the world had just rearranged itself around these two small arrived people who needed everything and could do nothing and were entirely dependent on us, on me, on the love and attention and presence and practical daily showing up that they needed in order to survive, in order to become, in order to be given the conditions that allow a person to grow into themselves rather than around the absence of what they needed. I felt the weight of that on the day they arrived, felt it as a physical thing, as something that landed in my chest and has not left, has simply become familiar, has simply become the ongoing weight of loving people, this completely, this without limit, this in the specific parental way that does not diminish, does not become proportionate, does not learn to stay within reasonable bounds, just continues in all its unreasonable, complete consuming presence. I remember the first time I held both of them, the specific logistics of it, the specific challenge of holding two people simultaneously, of trying to give each of them the full quality of attention while being aware that attention was being divided, that I was two people short for this moment that each of them deserved, the full undivided version of what I was trying to give them, and I had one version to distribute between two, and that distribution has been the ongoing challenge and the ongoing grace of having twins, simultaneously the challenge of never being quite enough for both at once, and the grace of watching them turn to each other, watching them develop between themselves something that I cannot provide, cannot replicate, cannot be for them. The specific thing they are to each other, which is someone who has always been there, who was there from the beginning, who was present before memory, who is woven into the earliest experience of being alive in a way that no one else can be woven in. They have each other in a way that is entirely particular to them, and I have watched that from the beginning, watched it develop, watched them learn each other, watched them negotiate each other, watched them be everything to each other that siblings can be, the comfort and the competition, the understanding and the friction, the person who knows you most completely because they have been present for all of it, and the person who challenges you most directly because they also know you that completely. I have watched them, and I want to tell you what I have seen, what the watching has given me, what understanding I have arrived at about each of them separately because they deserve to be seen separately, deserve to have what is particular to them named and honored on the day that marks their arrival, their specific individual arrival into the world, even though they arrive together, even though the day belongs to both of them, the what is specific to each of them belongs only to each of them, and I want to give it to them honestly, with the full quality of a father's attention that has been watching carefully for every year they have been alive. I want to talk about what birthdays feel like from the parent side, from the side that was there on the first one that has been present for everyone, since that holds the full sequence, the full accumulation of all the years, all the versions, all the people they have been on the way to being who they are today. The birthday feels different from the parent side, feels like an anniversary that is also a reckoning, a moment to look at how far we have come from that first day, that first room, that first moment when they were so new, so completely new, and now they are this, now they are the people standing in front of me on this birthday with all their years behind them, all their experience, all their becoming, and I have watched all of it have been present for the whole sequence, and the watching has been the privilege of my life, the specific, unrepeatable privilege of watching two specific people become who they are from the very beginning from before the beginning from before they had any idea who they were going to be. I want to say to them directly now on this birthday that I see them both truly, see them not as a pair, not as the twins, not as a unit that can be addressed collectively, but as two specific individual people, each of whom deserves to be seen clearly in their own right, in the full specificity of who they actually are. I see you both. I have always seen you both separately, completely, as yourselves, as the specific people you are who happen to share a birthday, who happen to have arrived together, but who are entirely yourselves, entirely separate, entirely worth knowing as individuals, worth loving as individuals, worth seeing as the specific, irreplaceable people you are. I love you. Both the word both here means something important, means that this love does not divide, does not allocate half to each, does not work on a scarcity model where loving one means less available for the other. It just doubled when they arrived, doubled, and has continued to grow in the specific direction of each of them separately and together. And I want them to know this on this birthday, want them that knowledge, carry it as something permanent, as something their father said clearly on this specific birthday, this specific year. I love you both fully, separately, completely, without division, without the impossible math of splitting one thing between two people. Just love, doubled from the beginning and growing. Still, I want to say to each of you that watching you become who you are has been the greatest education of my life, has taught me things no other experience could have taught me, about patience, about pre